Joan was 72, active, ate healthy, and yet one simple trip and fall left her with a fractured hip and 6 months in recovery. Her doctors said it wasn't bad luck. It was the food. Hidden in her daily meals were ingredients scientifically proven to reduce bone density in aging adults. In this video, we're breaking down the 7 bone-wrecking foods that every senior should avoid before it's too late, and one of them is disguised as a health food. Most seniors would never suspect that something as comforting and familiar as a warm bowl of soup could be quietly destroying their bone health. But the truth is, many canned and packaged soups are one of the most dangerous foods for seniors trying to maintain strong bones. The reason? Sodium. Canned soups are often loaded with it. Some brands contain over 900 milligrams of sodium in a single serving. And let's be honest, when was the last time anyone stopped at just one serving? Many seniors unknowingly consume the whole can, which could mean more than 1,800 milligrams of sodium in one sitting. Here's where it gets scary. Excess sodium actually pulls calcium out of your bones. When your diet is consistently high in salt, your kidneys work harder to excrete the sodium, and in the process, they also flush out calcium through your urine. Over time, this creates a calcium imbalance in your body, slowly weakening your bones from the inside out. And the science backs it up. A major study published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that older adults with higher sodium intake had significantly lower bone mineral density, particularly in the hips and spine, exactly the areas that are most vulnerable to fractures during a fall. After the age of 60, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing calcium, even when you're consuming enough of it. Combine that with a high-sodium diet, and you've got the perfect storm for accelerated bone loss. To make matters worse, many seniors take blood pressure medications that increase their sensitivity to sodium, compounding the problem. But sodium isn't just hiding in canned soup. It's everywhere. Instant noodles, store-bought broths, and frozen meals marketed as healthy often contain dangerously high levels of salt, and many food labels that promote phrases like low-fat or heart-healthy quietly pack in more than 40% of your daily sodium limit per serving. Seniors are often warned about sugar or cholesterol, but sodium is the silent saboteur that slips through the cracks. So what can you do? The best solution is to skip canned and processed soups altogether. Homemade soups made from fresh ingredients and flavored with herbs instead of salt are much safer. If you do choose packaged options, always look for labels that say low sodium or no added salt. But read carefully. Those labels are often misleading. And if you've already consumed a high-sodium meal, balance it out with calcium-rich and potassium-rich foods like leafy greens, yogurt, or sweet potatoes. These can help your body buffer the effects of excess sodium. But here's the real danger. Soup is soft, easy to digest, and feels nurturing. That's why it's a go-to food for many seniors, especially during colder months or recovery periods. It feels like comfort. But what most don't realize is that while it may soothe your throat, it could be sabotaging your bones one spoonful at a time. And if that surprised you, wait until you hear what's next. Because the next food might be sitting on your kitchen counter right now, and it's marketed as one of the healthiest snacks you can eat. At first glance, rice cakes seem like the perfect snack, low in calories, fat-free, and often found in the health food aisle. But beneath that light, crispy crunch is a hidden danger that most seniors don't see coming. Rice cakes have an extremely high glycemic index, meaning they cause a rapid spike in blood sugar shortly after eating. While this might give a quick energy boost, the long-term effects are far more damaging, especially to your bones. When blood sugar rises quickly, it also causes a surge in insulin. Over time, repeated insulin spikes contribute to a condition called chronic low-grade inflammation, which silently eats away at bone tissue. Studies have shown that elevated blood sugar and insulin resistance are linked to reduced bone mineral density and an increased risk of osteoporosis-related fractures, particularly in older adults. And here's the kicker. Because rice cakes are low in protein and fiber, they don't offer any lasting nutrition or satiety. You might eat one, then another, and another, creating a roller coaster of blood sugar crashes and cravings. To make things worse, many flavored rice cakes are loaded with artificial additives and sweeteners that bring their own risks, including gut inflammation and reduced calcium absorption. And unlike whole grains, rice cakes lack the essential minerals, like magnesium and phosphorus, that bones need to stay strong. So while rice cakes might seem like a guilt-free option, for seniors over 60, they could be quietly accelerating bone loss with every bite. There are better snacks out there, and in the next section, we'll expose one that's even more deceptive because it's often recommended by doctors. For decades, low-fat yogurt has been hailed as a calcium-rich, bone-boosting food, recommended by doctors, dietitians, and TV commercials alike. But for seniors over 60, this healthy staple might be doing more harm than good. The problem starts with what's taken out and what's added in. When yogurt is stripped of its natural fat, it loses many of the fat-soluble nutrients your bones actually need, like vitamin D and vitamin K2. These nutrients help shuttle calcium into your bones. Without them, even the calcium that's present doesn't get absorbed efficiently. But that's not the worst part. To make low-fat yogurt taste good, manufacturers often load it with added sugars, fruit syrups, or artificial sweeteners. And excess sugar, especially when consumed daily, leads to inflammation and increased calcium excretion through the kidneys. This combination creates the perfect storm: less calcium going in and more being flushed out. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that women over 60 who consumed high-sugar dairy products had a higher risk of hip fractures compared to those who consumed full-fat alternatives in moderation. And here's something most people don't realize. Without dietary fat, your body struggles to activate vitamin D, which is essential for calcium absorption. So that low-fat label that sounds like a healthy choice, it could be starving your bones of critical support. If you're going to eat yogurt, go for full-fat, unsweetened varieties made with live cultures. Your bones and your gut will thank you. In the next section, we're revealing a food that's supposed to protect your heart, but is secretly sabotaging your skeleton. For years, margarine was marketed as the better alternative to butter, a cholesterol-free, heart-friendly spread that doctors encourage patients to use in place of saturated fat. But what most seniors don't realize is that this so-called health food may be quietly accelerating bone loss. Many popular margarine brands are still made with hydrogenated oils or industrial seed oils, like soybean, corn, and canola, that are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While your body needs some omega-6, consuming too much of it, especially without enough omega-3s to balance it, creates chronic inflammation. And inflammation is a direct enemy of bone health. When inflammation becomes a constant, silent presence in the body, it increases the activity of osteoclasts, the cells that break down bone tissue. At the same time, it suppresses osteoblasts, the cells responsible for rebuilding and strengthening your bones. Over time, this imbalance leads to gradual bone thinning, reduced density, and increased risk of fractures. But that's not all. Many margarine products are fortified with synthetic vitamins like D2, which are less bioavailable than the natural D3 found in fatty fish or sunlight. So even when margarine boasts added nutrients, your body may not actually absorb or use them effectively, especially in older adults whose digestive efficiency has already declined. And if the margarine is labeled low-fat or light, chances are it's been heavily processed with fillers, emulsifiers, and preservatives, none of which support your bones or overall health. The truth is, margarine's promise of heart protection came at a hidden cost. It may help reduce cholesterol, but it's silently stealing strength from your skeleton. Up next, we're diving into a breakfast favorite that seems harmless, but can strip your bones of calcium with every bite. It's soft, convenient, and found in nearly every household. But for seniors, white bread might be one of the most dangerous foods hiding in plain sight, especially when it comes to bone health. The danger lies in what white bread lacks and what it causes. White bread is made from refined flour that has been stripped of almost all its natural nutrients, including magnesium, phosphorus, and fiber, minerals your bones desperately need to stay strong. What's left behind is a fast-digesting starch that sends your blood sugar soaring. And here's the hidden link. High glycemic foods like white bread trigger spikes in blood glucose and insulin. These repeated spikes lead to inflammation, and inflammation increases the rate at which calcium is excreted from the body. Over time, it also reduces the production of osteoblasts, the cells that build new bone tissue. Even worse, many commercial white breads are fortified with synthetic forms of calcium or iron that aren't easily absorbed by older adults. So while the label may suggest it's enriched, your body is still left starving for the real minerals it needs to preserve bone density. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors with diets high in refined carbohydrates had significantly higher rates of bone fractures and lower bone mineral density scores, especially in the hips and spine. White bread may feel familiar. It may toast evenly and taste just right with a little butter. But behind that soft texture is a nutritional trap. Every slice contributes to a slow erosion of your skeletal strength. And in the next section, we're exposing a so-called healthy drink that may be draining your bones of calcium every single day. It's sugar-free, calorie-free, and often seen as the safer alternative to regular soda. But for seniors, diet soda is anything but safe, especially when it comes to bone health. The real issue isn't just the artificial sweeteners, it's what happens to your body's internal chemistry after just one can. Most diet sodas are loaded with phosphoric acid, a compound used to give them that sharp, tangy bite. But when consumed regularly, phosphoric acid disrupts the delicate calcium-phosphorus balance in your bloodstream. Your body, trying to neutralize the acid, pulls calcium directly from your bones, weakening them from the inside out. And the damage is measurable. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that women who drank more than one diet soda a day had nearly 4% lower bone mineral density in their hips, a major red flag for fracture risk in older adults. Even worse, artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose have been linked to changes in gut microbiota, which play a role in nutrient absorption. If your gut isn't healthy, your bones can't get the calcium, magnesium, or vitamin D they need, even if you're eating all the right foods. Some seniors switch to diet soda thinking it's a healthier choice for weight or blood sugar control. But every can could be slowly eroding your skeletal strength, increasing your risk of osteoporosis without a single warning sign until it's too late. And next, we'll reveal the #1 bone-damaging food, one that's recommended to seniors more often than any other but may be doing the most silent harm. It's marketed as a smart start to your day. Bright packaging, claims of heart-healthy benefits, and often stamped with a bold promise, fortified with calcium for strong bones. But if you're over 60, this so-called healthy breakfast could be the #1 food quietly weakening your skeleton. Here's the problem. Most calcium-fortified cereals use synthetic calcium carbonate, a cheap form of calcium that's poorly absorbed, especially by seniors, whose stomach acid levels naturally decline with age. Instead of supporting your bones, much of this calcium ends up passing through your body unused. But it gets worse. These cereals are often loaded with refined sugars, artificial dyes, and processed grains, which lead to spikes in blood sugar and insulin. As with white bread, this blood sugar roller coaster fuels chronic inflammation, creating an internal environment that weakens bones faster than your body can rebuild them. A study from Tufts University found that older adults who consumed fortified breakfast cereals daily had no significant improvement in bone density over 2 years, even when calcium levels appeared adequate on paper. And yet, this is one of the most commonly recommended foods for seniors in assisted living centers, hospitals, and wellness programs. It's easy to chew, easy to prepare, and sounds reassuring on the label. But what's inside is far from nourishing. The truth? If your cereal box says fortified with calcium, it might not be helping your bones at all. In fact, it may be setting them up to fail. You may not feel it right now, but if you're over 60, your bones are already fighting a silent battle, one that's shaped by the choices you make at every meal. The foods we covered in this video don't scream danger. They don't come with warning labels. They come disguised as comfort, as health, as normal. And that's what makes them so destructive. But here's the good news. Your bones are living tissue. They're constantly rebuilding, constantly responding. That means it's never too late to turn things around. Never too late to swap out the harmful for the healing. Now that you know what's weakening your bones, the next step is knowing what to eat to make them stronger. Foods that rebuild, restore, and protect you from the inside out. In our next video, we'll show you exactly what to put on your plate to help reverse bone loss, reduce fracture risk, and stay strong well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Because aging doesn't have to mean breaking. It can mean rebuilding. And it starts with what's on your fork.